So here is Maya's final statement on the matter. I'm going to read it. She came out with a tweet longer. Here's what Maya said in my final statement. She came out earlier this morning. She said, I would like to first respond to the recorded call from last week that was aired on stream. I was not offered the opportunity to represent myself on that call, and thus what I said and my intentions on that day in question were misrepresented. I have already spoken my truth on stream, but in light of the false allegations brought upon me, I feel the need to speak it again on it again. I do not want to engage in nuke wars. I do not want to play games. I will only speak my own intentions and actions that day. I did not go to the house that day with the intention of manipulating Adriana's story. I did not cover up sexual assault. This would not be possible, as even Adriana did not consider the incident to be sexual assault until this past Monday, as she said on her stream. Adriana's feelings regarding the situation have rightfully changed that day, and I support her. On that day, I was only able to operate off the information that was given to me by Adriana and eyewitnesses at that time. Now, this is the part that is important. What Kyle and Adriana can attest to is whether or not they consider it, whether or not they told Maya again that no, it was sexual assault. We think it was sexual assault. We already know. Kyle tweeted it wasn't sexual assault, Hasan. We already know. Again, we already know. The whole situation is a great study on the tribalism online communities. Did Maya only know that Slick made her uncomfortable, or did she know the details? Or why did Maya tell Adriana to make definitive statements if Adriana said she was confused on whether it happened or not? I think that is the fucked up part of this conversation. If you don't think it's sexual assault, that is what I'm saying. I think like Maya's presence in that situation was coercive ultimately, because she should not have been there while the tweet longer was being written. I think that is the most valid thing you can say, okay? The most valid and true thing you can say about this is that she should not have been there while the tweet longer was being written. But as someone who herself has been victim of sexual assault, I think in that moment, what she was trying to specify, one, because I can't speak to her motivations personally, was because she was not clear on what had happened and probably was motivated by defending her friend, which is wrong. That is the wrong part of this. That is fucked up. If she had handled this with the delicacy of the situation, the delicate nature of the situation, if she handled this appropriately, she would not have gone over there at all. Or even if she did, she would not have said, oh, well, you're saying it's not like sexual assault, so I guess it's not sexual assault. Even in that situation, when a victim herself is saying it's not sexual assault, you can't be motivated in any meaningful capacity to make it seem like that. Because a lot of people in situations like this, a lot of victims in situations like this are looking for any out, okay? Because they are already well aware of the social pressures that are going to be compounding, that are going to be fucking coming down on top of them when they come out with a traumatic event. Okay, when they come out with their own personal experience in the aftermath of a traumatic event. So for that reason, okay, anyone who especially has their own personal experience with this sort of thing is completely aware of this, or should have been completely aware of this. That's the main fuck up on Maya's behalf here. Whether she was oblivious to it being sexual assault or not, she should have handled it with more care. And a lot of people who are obviously like shitting on her on the internet, like they don't give a fuck. Like they themselves would not have been doing the right thing, but it doesn't matter. This is a good opportunity for everyone to understand how to deal with situations like this. Okay? The information was that there was no rape or sexual assault, but that Crazy Slick had made Adriana uncomfortable. I supported Adriana in sharing this. I did ask about her experience, and I did go there with the intention of understanding the truth of the incident that occurred at the party in January of 2020. At the time, I thought this was the right thing to do. I fully understand that it was wrong, given my position, to insert myself into that situation. I apologize for the power dynamic and the harm I might have caused. It was irresponsible of me to not remove myself from the situation, and I take full accountability for making this mistake. I am deeply disappointed in my judgment and choices, and I am deeply sorry to Adriana for my involvement. I never intended for my status to influence Adriana. I would never knowingly protect the predator, and I would never threaten or discourage a victim from speaking out about their experiences. I absolutely condemn the actions of Crazy Slick. I have privately apologized to Adriana and will publicly apologize again. I'm truly sorry for Adriana's experience with Crazy Slick and for the experiences of other women who have shared their stories. I'm sorry, and I feel horrible for being part of the reason that Adriana has experienced everything that she has in the past year. I'm sorry that this has become a nauseating he said, she said battle. I've remained in this industry because I've always seen streaming as a means to an end, the end being a powerful platform for conservation education. For those of you who are still willing to support my platform, thank you. For those of you unwilling, I understand. I'm stepping away from my online platforms indefinitely. I'm sorry. Thank you all for reading. Two big deals. Maya has not spoken to the convo with Mitch and Miz. She's avoiding it for a reason. Also, Barry said this won't be good. She said this won't be good for your career. Why won't she address this? I wonder why she's avoiding those two contentious things. Because I'll tell you why. Okay, if that is true, which I have no reason to believe it's not, even though it's Barry saying it, but still. The reason why she's probably not addressing it is because she understands how it looks. Because in that circumstance, depending on whether it's sexual assault or not, okay, depending on whether the victim feels like it was sexual assault or not, changes the dynamic of what you are saying. It's like saying, oh, when you come out with this, it's going to be bad. That's a terrible statement. That's a threat. Depending on what the context and the nuance is in that situation, it's either a fucking vicious threat or something you should have never said in general, even if you were fucking being like, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, people are going to fucking yell at you. Damn, believing Barry over your friend? Okay, listen. This corresponds to, and Adriana might change how she feels, or maybe I misunderstood, but this actually does make sense given the context of the situation and given what Kyle has said and given what Adriana has said. Okay? This makes sense. Now it's up to Adriana to accept it or not. Okay?